In this movie, I'll show you how to turn hexagons into honeycomb. Specifically, we'll take a single six-sided polygon, and to show you what that looks like, I'll go ahead and scroll up left here and press Control-Y or Command-Y on the Mac to switch to the outline mode, so that you can see that we're starting with one and only one rounded hexagon, but thanks to the application of a bunch of attributes and effects here inside the Appearance panel, we end up with this honeycomb effect right here. All right, so the first step, as usual, is to go up to the File menu and choose New from Template, or press Control-Shift-N or Command-Shift-N on the Mac. Then I'll go ahead and load my Center Guides document. Now, I don't really need these guides, so I'll switch back over to the Layers panel, and I'll turn off the Guides layer. And then I'll select the Polygon tool from the Shape Tool flyout menu. Now, everything's designed with specific parameters in mind, so I'll just go ahead and click someplace here inside the artboard. And for this technique to work, you need the size value to be set to 6. We need 6 sides for our polygon. And you can really adjust the radius value to taste, but again, if you want to work with my values, then you want to go with 60 points to start. At which point, go ahead and click OK to create that initial polygon. Next, go ahead and switch back to the black arrow tool, which of course you can get by pressing the V key. And we're going to make a couple of initial movements here. Now, for the best results, you want to go up to the View menu and make sure your Smart Guides are turned on. And then go ahead and drag this guy by one of the left-hand anchor points until it snaps into alignment with its similar right-hand anchor point, and press the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac, and then release in order to create a clone. All right, now press the Enter key, which, because the black arrow tool is active, brings up the Move dialog box. And I want you to notice this horizontal value. You could write it down if you want to, but the best thing to do is just go ahead and select it and copy it by pressing Control-C or Command-C on the Mac. Your vertical value should be 0. And the idea is we just need to record what this movement is. All right, with that value copied, go ahead and cancel out. Then select that original polygon again and drag it by its upper left anchor point, this guy right here, until it snaps into alignment with its bottom anchor point, and press the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac, and then release in order to create that clone. Now we need to know what that movement looks like, so once again press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac, and remember this value right here. The vertical value needs to be 90 points. That's a pretty easy one to remember. The horizontal value you don't really need to remember, because watch this. If I click after it and enter *2 and press the Tab key, it ends up being that same value we saw before. And just to confirm that's the case, I'll select that value and press Control-V or Command-V on the Mac to paste it. Those are exactly the same value. In other words, 103.923. You don't need to remember that, but they are the same value. All right, now let's cancel out. Go ahead and grab these two guys. There's a method to my madness, believe me. Go ahead and select these two guys and press the backspace key or the delete key on the Mac to get rid of them. All right, now we're going to take our base hexagon right here. Go ahead and click its bottom anchor point and drag it so it snaps into alignment with the top left corner of the bleed, like so. And now let's go ahead and zoom out by pressing Control or Command-0, followed by Control or Command-. And now we're going to set in applying some transform effects. So go up to the Window menu and choose the Appearance command to switch over to the Appearance panel. And then drop down to the FX icon in the bottom left corner of the panel, click on it, go up to Distort and Transform, and then choose the Transform command. All right, now we want to start things off by changing the horizontal move value to that value that we copied. So go ahead and select the existing value and press Control-V or Command-V on the Mac in order to paste in the new one, then turn on the Preview checkbox and watch this guy move over to exactly the right position. All right, now we want a few copies, so go ahead and click on the copies value and press the up arrow key until you fill up your artboard, which is going to happen at a value of 10, as you see here. Then click OK to accept that effect. All right, now that we have one row, we need to repeat it, offset down and to the right. And to make that happen, drop down to the FX icon, choose Distort and Transform, and choose Transform. Now, as soon as you do that, Illustrator is going to bark at you and say, wait a second, if you want to edit the current effect, then just go ahead and double-click on the effect's name in the Appearance panel. You don't really have to double-click, you just click on it, but still, that is the way to edit the existing effect. However, what we want to do is apply a new effect. So rather than turn on the Don't Show Again checkbox, because I think this one is useful, just go ahead and click on Apply New Effect in order to once again bring up the Transform Effect dialog box. Then select that horizontal move value and paste that value that you copied once again, and then enter /2 afterwards in order to divide it in half And now change the vertical value to that vertical value that you remember from when you drag down and to the right, which is 90, by the way. It's actually 1.5 times the radius of the polygon. So the radius is 60. This movement's going to be 90. Turn on the preview checkbox and you will see that that is exactly the movement we want. However, we do want one copy to create a second row. So make sure that copy's value is 1 and then click OK. All right, now we need to fill up the entire artboard with these hexagons, and we'll do that by once again dropping down to the FX icon, choosing Distort and Transform, and choosing Transform. Again, Illustrator is going to bark at us. Again, go ahead and click Apply New Effect. And then what you want to do is just change the vertical value to 90 times 2. So go ahead and enter *2 after the value 90. Press the Tab key. That's going to give you a vertical value of 180. Turn on a preview checkbox. You'll see that that moves things into position. You'll see that even better if you click into copies value and press the up arrow key so that you have some honeycomb going. And then keep pressing the up arrow key until you entirely fill the artboard, which happens at 4 copies, at which point go ahead and click OK to accept that effect. And now we just want to adjust things a little bit by moving this guy over. And I figure things look pretty good if we press Shift left arrow twice. So 1, 2, in order to scoot this original polygon over 20 points, which creates a nice effect here inside the artboard. And to prove that's the case, I'll go ahead and zoom in so that we can see our precisely repeating hexagons, in which each hexagon exactly abuts its neighbor. And that is how you turn one and only one hexagon into a pattern that absolutely fills up your artboard. In the following movies, I'll show you how to turn this into honeycomb.